Hello and welcome to episode 9 of the ReelTok podcast. Before we get into this, we've got quite a stacked episode today. It's important to note, please rate us on Spotify, give us a sub on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all our socials. We are obviously releasing merch, what we said last week, when we do hit 5,000 YouTube subscribers. So it's really, really important, and we really appreciate all the support so far. We didn't see that you mentioned us in a tweet. A lot of you saying we were, the best film podcast or one of your favorites. So we really appreciate that as well. Before we get into it, how is everyone doing? If everyone didn't see on our Instagram, Tyler and George met up in person, which is quite nice. And that's our most liked Instagram post so far, which is pretty good. Where did you meet up, Tyler? You went to New York. What was the reason?
Yeah, so my oldest sister's running in the New York City Marathon that I believe is going on right this second, probably. So my whole family we all do fantasy football. This is like a family fantasy league, and whoever wins kind of picks where we're going for like a family vacation. So we're like, let's just all go meet up in New York City. So we met up there for like a day and a half. I was there, saw George. I was like, he was working in the office. I was like, hey, come, want to meet up somewhere and get dinner? We did. We got some pizza. It was me and my girlfriend, George. He paid the tab, made me feel like just an absolute complete beta because I ordered a bottle of wine for the table. And I feel like when you order a bottle of wine or like order drinks, you're under the impression, like I was like, okay, I'm going to pay the tab, so I'll buy a bottle of wine. And George picks up the tab and just makes me feel like a complete bitch.
Oh, what a cutie. Because you and your girlfriend were around the city all day. You were dropping money on the touristy attractions. So I figured the least I could do is save you guys a few bucks because New York is a very expensive place.
Yeah, but George just the nicest guy picking up the tab. I'm a big guy. I got the trifecta going, so obviously a lot of comments on like me versus George. So I'm tall. I have a lot of muscle mass, and on top of that muscle mass, I have a lot of fat because I need to lose weight. So that's really the trifecta to really make yourself just like tower over someone in a picture. Just be overweight, have muscle, be tall. So yeah, lots of comments on that one, so I had to address it.
I had to be on my tippy toes when I went to hug Tyler for the first time.
Yeah, but
just to get my arms over his shoulders.
I'll be worse. That's gonna be very embarrassing.
I thought we were all, Seth, me, and George are kind of all around the same height, so I thought we were like feeling
I'm
pretty.
4'9". What do you mean?
That's yeah, you're
that's facts.
What's funny about like heights though is like Josiah is obviously making the comparisons like, oh, I'm taller than George because of this. The funny thing is like George obviously met Andrew's Visuals and HZ Joe at Comic-Con. They were both tall. Well, Andrew's Visuals is a freaking giant.
He's huge.
But then
He's
HZ
huge.
Joe, I think everyone on Movie Talk was like, we did not think he was going to be that tall. And then George takes a picture with me, and George ends up looking like shorter. But like George is a tall guy. Like Movie Talk in general is just a tall community. I don't know what it is.
I need to take pictures with shorter people. Like I can't be doing it.
Just meet me, man. It's fine.
I got you, dude. Yeah, we'll hang out sometime. One day.
But yeah, it was super fun. We enjoyed a night together in New York City. It was a blast. But yeah, I was in New York City. I was a fan. It was my first time there. Technically, it lived up to the hype. I would say. I don't know if I could do it like as a full time like live there, but I definitely didn't not like it. I really like Jersey City though, because George and I walked back there late after we got dinner in Jersey City. I freaking like it. My girlfriend and I just stayed out late that night. I just walked around. A lot more slower pace in New York City, which is more at my speed. Then last comment: Philadelphia stinks. If any of you are from Philly, like. Just like a town of assholes. Everyone knows that in America. And then like the Philadelphia airport was just like the shittiest experience ever. I'm just like, Philly is just not like New York City, greater than Philly. And that's it for my vacation. I'm back. I traveled all day yesterday. I had to hop 4 time zones, 7 hours of flying.
And they just lost the World Series.
They did just lose the World Series too to the Houston Astros. But yeah, yesterday was just flying like crazy, driving. I'm like exhausted right now, but I'm back in Arizona. Not traveling again for 2 whole more weeks. So trying to take it easy. But yeah, it was great seeing George. Absolute blast. We all need to get together, us 4. Like, I know we talked about it in the chat. Maybe like us 4 all get together. Or maybe us 4 plus all of our 4 significant others get together. Like, that'd be like huge blast if we just rent out an Airbnb, shout out Barbarian, and just have a good ass time.
Whenever Seth is willing to come to the States.
Bro, I'm willing. Like,
well, I know you're willing whenever you're willing to spend.
Whenever
money.
you want to.
Yeah, whenever you want to
it's
spend.
It's more like time, because obviously with me it's fine, but Anna's like full-time employed, isn't she? So she has to book it off and whatever. Like New York for me, it seems well, I've never been to New York, but it seems like London in that it's just so busy and just incredibly stressful, and people walking in front of you, like driving is impossible. Is that the vibe it's like? Yeah. I feel like I would hate I'd love to visit, but I feel like I'd just be stressed all the time if I stayed there for like over a week.
So it's a very fast-paced city. It's like literally it's called the city that never sleeps for a reason. Like there's no time in New York where it isn't just flooded and with people in the streets, and everyone, especially like before work and after work, is just in a bad mood and in a rush to get to work. So
that's
running,
London.
Bumping into each other, you're walking over homeless people, depending on what area you're in. It's a hectic city.
It's just how London is, and that's how I picture it as well.
It's for sure hectic city.
What have you been up to this week? Anything good?
Man, this is probably one of the more boring weeks. I texted you guys on what was it? Was it Wednesday night?
A few days ago,
something ago. Yeah. My mother-in-law was driving us home. No, it was last Sunday, I think.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah.
We were at my wife's grandparents' house, and then my mother-in-law was driving us home because she lives right by us. And we hit a deer on the way home, so that was a little spooky. Had to take the son to the ER, but he was totally fine. They just basically said to bring him in as a precaution. Everyone was good. The car, not so much, unfortunately, but that's kind of the most exciting thing that happened to me this week is a no bueno thing. But yeah, this is one of the few weeks I don't have a whole lot to say.
Well, it's a good thing that you're all safe and sound.
Well, thank you.
And it's absolutely crazy that you absolutely melted a deer at 70 miles per hour and everyone walked out unscathed.
Dude, we went for like 30 more or 20 more miles, and then we were on the like highway-ish, not like super highway, but fast-paced road, whatever. So we were good. We hit that thing and just kept going for about 20 more miles. It was when we got off the exit and we're like going towards our apartment. And is when like the car was like, hey, you're stopping and starting a lot. No good for this engine. And then started smoking. So yeah,
that's when you get out of the car.
Yeah, exactly. We did pull over by a house, a random house. And they totally thought we were trying to like either rob them or like leave our kid with them because like it was raining, of course. My wife like took Bailey to their porch and was like, hey, can I stand under here? Like it's raining and our kid's freaking out, crying. I think they called the cops on us. We didn't call the cops. The cops showed up and they were like, that guy called us. Because we were just gonna kind of like leave the car for the insurance to get the next day. And then the guy came out of the porch and was like, hey, can you get that cop? I want to talk to him. And so that's always fun. Like they definitely thought we were trying to like leave the baby with them or something. I don't know what they thought we were doing there, but
it's a strange assumption to make, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's see. So this happened on Sunday, which is the day before Halloween, which means they might have just been watching Harry Potter and just finished watching the Philosopher's Stone. And they're like, there's a kid on our porch and I don't know what's going down here. But I don't know if it just didn't click with me at first, but like you said, you texted the group chat and you're like, yeah, we just hit a deer. And then we were like, holy shit. And then like, it didn't click for me until like an hour later when you're like, oh, in the ER with the kid. I was like, oh my God, the kid is with them. I guess all humans' life's equal. Dude, when you say a baby's involved, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, he didn't even wake up. We were more freaked out than
Did you just clip it or did you full on just
it was more like a clip. Like we hit it on the left, so the driver's side like tail or front light. And I mean it got a good hit, but
did you see the deer or was it able to just like run off?
Nah, I was probably looking at my phone and then we heard oh shit, looked up and just bang, and then
no, I mean like after you hit it, like was the deer
oh no, it was gone. We didn't stop for it or anything. We just so I feel bad for that deer. Very sad, but we're all good.
RIP.
No,
that is horrible.
Animals are better than people.
That's a fact. Anyway, so we thought we'd start with the few movie reviews we have this week. So Barbarian released in the UK. Obviously, when did that come out for you guys? It was like a month or two ago?
A while ago, yeah.
Yeah. Like obviously we got it late as usual. So I got to watch it and obviously I told Cam and Tyler to watch it as well. I want to put it on some of the really non-horror guys. So I think the one who least watches horror in here is Tyler. What were your thoughts on this crazy film?
All right, well, I'm gonna enlighten you on how someone who's just getting their toe into the water of horror watches this horror movie. So it's me alone in my house. It's late at night. Go into my bedroom, take out my laptop, lights on, all lights on in the room for sure. Laptop, no using the AirPods. I always listen with my AirPods. We need speakers. I can't have it right in my ears. I need speakers. Have it about 50% volume. Laptop screen at about 50% brightness. Not sitting directly on the lap, more so like on the knees. So we got a distance audially and visually from the horror going on the screen. So we got.
Could you even see the scenes in the tunnel if you had 50% brightness?
So those I actually turned up the brightness all the way. And to be fair, like even at like full brightness on like my pretty good laptop screen, those are still like dark ass scenes.
Yeah,
like,
I don't even need to be in the dark.
Yeah,
that's what sucks about horror. I hate it. I hate it.
I really enjoyed it. Like it's definitely like because Cam was watching it and he was saying like he wasn't gonna be able to finish it one night. And there's a very obvious point in this movie where I feel like if you like had to break it up into 2 days, there's like a very clear incident that happens. You're like, this should be when you pause and watch the rest because it pretty much just completely changes tone of a movie halfway through. The first beginning is very suspenseful, trying to figure out what's going on, very dark and mysterious, right? And then the second half is just. I don't know. I don't know enough about horror to say it's just a classic, like, outlandish horror comedy, but it's just, like, goes bananas. It's hilarious. There's so many scenes I was laughing out loud. The water tower scene was through me.
Oh, man. So fun. Like,
Are we doing spoilers and non-spoilers?
I feel like this movie's been out for long enough. I don't know.
I think we should do spoilers.
It's not marketed as a horror comedy, though. Like, I think it's...
I don't even think it is a horror comedy.
I wouldn't call it a horror comedy.
It's just there are things that make you laugh.
Yeah. Justin Long's delivery of a lot of lines is hysterical.
The tape measure scene with the stairs.
That's hilarious. And when he finds the laptop and he just types in one super long password once and it doesn't work, it's like, well, guess that laptop's not going to get cracked anytime soon.
But then you say it's not meant to be a horror comedy, like the water tower scene where they jump, the jump, like that had some comedy elements in that. That was so fun. Like when I was in the cinema watching it, I cannot every single. It was packed because it was Halloween night. Obviously, it was fully busy. Every single person was laughing. Like that scene where she's just going down, and it's the fact Justin Long just threw up. It blindsided me because you think he's gonna go on this path. If you haven't watched it, he's basically not a nice human, or from what we know,
fucking rapist.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh,
and
bad.
You think he's gonna go on this kind of like repent because he goes into that speech about how he's a nasty person, whatever. And at the end, like you think he's gonna do something really nice and save her, and he just chucks her off. It's like it completely blindsided me. Like, everyone was laughing. Like,
I was absolutely crying at the scene where Justin Long is in like the cage and the woman is trying to feed him the milk, and he's just the girl's like drink it, and he's like I'm not gonna drink this. Are you kidding?
Yeah, why would you, dude? It's such a why would you not? You know, you're fucking in a cage, man. Just drink the fucking milk. Yeah, dude.
Justin Long was the king of gaslighting that whole movie though. From both with his legal troubles he was dealing with, trying to gaslight the girl on the voicemail, and at the very end, like after yeeting this girl off the water tower, he just goes down to her dying body. He's like, I had to do this. Like literally, there's no other choice.
Dude, but that's the thing though.
You mentioned it, and I just want to like by far the funniest part of this movie is when he's obviously like in a whole lot of shit because he's a horrible human. So he's trying to sell this home, and he's like, can you use basement square footage to sell a house? And this dude's discovered a fucking tunnel in his basement, and he doesn't care about anything. Runs upstairs, Googles it, grabs his tape measure. Even when he's discovered this like old ruins of tunnels, he's measuring
with a bed and like blood on the bed and everything.
Yeah.
It's just such a great juxtaposition because when the Skarsgård and the woman go down there early, it's like every extra corridor you see is like more terrifying. Like, oh my god, what else is down here? Whereas Justin Long, every extra corridor and hallway is like, fuck yeah, that's more square footage, baby. Let's keep this going.
Seth, just run through this movie, like, because it's just like it's a weird, transition from. Yeah, just give a general overview of like what this movie is if people haven't seen it and they want to listen to this for some reason.
Yeah, what was the woman's name? It was Tess, played by Georgina Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So she is in a town in Detroit, I think it was, for a job interview. She books out this Airbnb, gets there, and Bill Skarsgård is there. His character Keith, who basically they booked it at the same time. She basically decides to stay there because there's nowhere else to go. And then, after that, you kind of, I had the inkling that Keith was going to be. It was very stereotypical horror for the
even
first,
up. Yes, and keep going because I just want to say,
it was very stereotypical. I was like thinking, okay, the usual kind of tropes were happening.
Mm-hmm.
A door would be like slightly adjusted. She went to sleep in the bed at one moment, and then she woke up middle of the night, and the door was open, and Keith was being a bit weird and kept offering her things and stuff like that. And you thought, okay, here we go, he's the bad guy. And then she basically goes to job interview, comes back. People are telling her about it. There was a homeless man who chased after her and was trying to tell her about this house.
She thinks it's a bad person because she's in a bad area. Detroit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So she finds this kind of passageway in the house which leads to this basement. Goes through the basement, finds a room which is got a bed and then some blood on it, and then she finds it goes further. She gets scared. Keith comes home, and this is where it switched for me from the stereotypical horror to just absolutely ridiculous. So Keith decides to go down, right?
Idiot.
It was all the bad decisions you get in horror films.
Yeah.
Keith decides to go down, and she's calling him like, Keith, where are you? What are you doing? He doesn't answer. Okay, brilliant. Here we go. We think maybe he's the bad guy. Maybe this was all his plan all along. We get down there, and she goes further in, finds Keith, and then he's like, saying, we need to go. There's a woman in here.
But even up to this point, I'm like, this dude's doing something right. Yeah. Because he's like, she comes from one way, he comes from the other. And she's like, we got to go this way to exit. And he's like, no.
He's pulling her the other way.
Exactly. And you're like this dude's
pulling her further in. And then we're like, okay.
and then
out of nowhere, this 8-foot naked woman.
Inbred.
Yeah, just inbred naked woman just comes and just smashes his head against the wall, and then
demolishes him.
Just completely, headless. And then the whole cinema was just what? And then it just cuts, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And then we go to Justin Long, who's riding in this he's driving in this open car. Gets a call from he is working on, is it a TV show or a film?
Yeah, his agent.
Gets a call from the agent saying that an accusation is being made from him. He owns the B&B. He meets his accountant. He's going to have to go bankrupt. He's got no money. He needs to pay for the lawyer fees, and then goes to the B&B. And then, as Cam said, he's trying to make more money off it. Goes into the B&B. He also gets captured by this woman, and then are we going into? I think we're going to spoilers, aren't we?
Yeah, we've already given a couple.
And then it just goes from zero, 1 minute he's being breastfed by this room with TV showing babies and these loads of beds, and it's just I can't even. What happened after that scene?
Then she gets out of the house. Tess does.
She gets out of the house, yeah.
And then she finds the police, and because she's in a shit area, she's been trapped in this house for a couple weeks. Yeah, they think she's some sort of crackhead because she looks like shit.
That's nice.
Yeah, and then she goes back to the house because
why not? Because
it's a fucking horror movie.
She goes to find the guy, who she's never met.
No, she's like, we gotta save him for no fucking reason.
I think the thing is, it does it well, and I think, like Tyler said, there is actually there is layers to this film in regards to gaslighting, in regards to sort of how we treat people, but it really does go from one film to the next. When kind of she goes back in that house for, again, no reason. They manage to escape. Does anything happen in the middle of that I'm forgetting? Other than
I think they just get out and
they get out.
The homeless person turns out that he's been living there.
Yeah, and the homeless person says she's he takes to this water tower and she says how do we know he's not going to get us here? She's not going to get us here. And then it's just such a he's
classic. Yeah,
I've been here 20 years. She's never been here. And then as soon as he says that, she just comes from behind him. He's done. And then basically the film ends. They climb this water tower to escape.
Yeeted off the watchtower.
Yeah.
But they're at the top. He's saying, okay, I know what to do. I'm gonna what does he say? I'm gonna get us out of this or something like that.
Well, he has a gun that he drops, of course.
Oh my god, that was so bad.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, he has a gun. Also,
Yeah.
also we should say that like, and when I say inbred, it's literally an inbred because apparently that
it's not a derogatory term.
Yeah, no, I'm not even being rude. Apparently, a shitty dude way back in the day lived in this house.
Don't we?
Yeah, we see him. I forget who he's played by, but he's been basically like he steals women, brings them down there, has kids with them, has kids with those kids,
then
and so on is what this thing is. You know, this thing has been living in the tunnel for, I think they said it, or maybe I looked this up, like 40 years or something. Whatever.
I think you're right. Yeah,
literally inbred.
It was like, and the weird thing is, like, George, when I said this to you, you said you didn't think I'd like this. I didn't think I'd like this because
I didn't think you would like it at all.
I've heard
especially after your reaction to Smile. I was like, oh, this movie's the turn this movie's gonna take is just gonna throw Seth off. He might love like the first half because it's a little eerie, it's tense, you don't know what's happening. I was like, once that second half hits, Seth might leave the theater.
It was completely the opposite. The first half, I was like, okay. This is just every horror
basic,
ever. Yeah. Like, this is just, I have seen this trope so many times, whatever. And then Justin Long comes in the scene. I'm like, this is so funny.
I thought the movie changed or something.
Time like that. Yeah, like, so do you want to give like ratings for it? I think I give it a 3.5. George give it 3.5.
Yeah.
Cam and Tyler give it 3. So we all rated it somewhat positively anyway.
I will say just that one last point on this. I'm thinking we've been like kind of blessed with some incredible like marketing this year between like the Batman and even Smile and Everything Everywhere All at Once. The marketing this year for films has been crazy. And I want to throw Barbarian on that list because when that trailer came out, they showed absolutely nothing and it blew up across the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It was absurd. I remember getting so many DMs of people saying, bro, you need to watch this trailer. And I was like, here's another C-tier horror movie. And then I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, shit. Like, I have no idea. I need to see this movie because I need to see what happens. And then it ended up making...
That's like risky marketing as well because it could have gone completely the other way.
I think for a horror movie, it could be hit or miss because horror movies. I think the budget on this movie was $4.5 million, and I'm pretty sure it made close to $50 million. So horror,
just come out in the UK as well.
I don't think you can go wrong with, marketing on a horror movie because it costs nothing to make.
Yeah, I mean there was also
we seem to have this conversation every week, right? Horrors.
But I don't know if you saw I saw a trailer for it on YouTube a lot that was recommended to me. That wasn't even the trailer, but all it said, it was a pre-roll before so many YouTube videos I watched, and it just said, "See Justin Long's new movie in theaters," and all it is just him driving in his convertible. I was like, this bait and switch is hilarious. If someone just like is a fan of Dodgeball and accepted, and they're like, Justin Long's back in acting, let's go see Barbarian. This looks like a fun kind of comedy.
Did you see the video of
Justin Long was funny.
Yeah, he was hysterical. Did you see the video of him listing his 4 favorite horror movies? It like went around.
Yeah, I saw it and didn't watch
yesterday.
It was good. It was Hereditary.
What did he say?
Hereditary, Saint Maud, The Exorcist, and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 78 version.
Saint Maud was a wild choice, wasn't it, for a top 4?
Yeah, I think he mentioned he just wanted to kind of swing A24 in, and he said that before he did Hereditary. So
yeah, that makes sense.
I want to say I don't want to be lumped into your fucking 5-star rating system. First of all, I gave this movie a 55 out of 100, which then translates to a 3 out of 5.
Tyler,
just
you've got like 10.
I gave it a 6.1 out of 10, which translates to a 3-star.
Yeah, I don't want to be lumped into this star category, but I will be. Yeah. But
so last thing,
5-star supremacy, my man.
Well, I just want to say, talking about, I feel like 55 out of 100 isn't a very high score. Like, that's right borderline a 2.5. And I think these movies just aren't for me. Like this and Malignant, which is getting compared to a lot. I think this is better than Malignant. As we talk about it, like, huh?
Can't believe you just said that.
I agree, Cam. I think it's better than Malignant.
I think it's better than Malignant.
Oh, you guys are on drugs.
But that being said, like I said, I just don't know if this kind of movie is for me because one, it's not very scary, and I'm scared, and it feels like the stupidness of this just being a very tall old woman who's naked the entire time.
When she goes Baba in his face all the time.
Yeah, she's saying like,
what are we doing?
Yeah, we should also mention that like she's like, I don't even know, she has daughter issues, we'll call it. Because she just wants everything that comes down into this well or this stairway to be her kid. But like horror now and this is something George and Seth kind of love maybe, is like it just feels like it's kind of just trying to make you feel uncomfortable. And maybe I don't know, maybe that's just not for me. Horror in general is not for me, but I feel like this movie's a lot more fun to talk about than it is to watch. Because like I'm talking about it pretty positively, like compared to Black Adam, which I talked about very negatively and gave a higher score. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe this deserves higher, but when I was watching it, I'm like, I didn't care a whole lot, and I don't know. I watched it also like squinted for the first half of the movie because I'm a bitch, and I think the idea of horror scares me a lot more than the actual horror.
Well, this is the thing why I enjoyed it more than like Malignant, because it was funny. Like Malignant was ridiculous. Like the end scene, it was well done. I won't lie. But it was, it was depressing. Like it was a pretty sad case of a film. And then with something like Barbarian, it was just so stupid that you have a laugh with it. And I was excited to talk about this with you guys on the podcast because it's just such a conversation piece. Because it's so dumb, like it's just so ridiculous at the same time. Anything else anyone want to add to it at all? Or
the last thing I'll say is just like there's just so many juxtapositions in this movie, and the one thing is, a lot of this movie is like, obviously it's far-fetched, but it's like feasible. Like if someone like kidnaps women, like there's nothing that's crazy supernatural. But then like the mama's able to like rip off arms and like rip people's skulls in half. So I was like,
with ease.
What are we going for here? Is this like, I mean, I know it's like a horror, like, and the end just goes off the rails. But like, I was like, the whole movie leading up to that point, I was like, this is like far-fetched, but like it could in theory happen if someone had like a dungeon under their house and was just a terrible person. But then she just starts going Super Saiyan mode, and I was like, okay, whoa.
Who's setting up these Airbnbs? Because when Justin Long gets there, he's like, he calls his Airbnb gal and he's like, hey, is anyone renting? And she says no, but then two people on different websites are renting this at the same time. Is the girl down there just like with a laptop as well? And like, hey, let's.
True, that is weird. They never really did kind of cover that plot point.
I think that's one that's just like they're like, fuck it, who cares? It's a mission.
She's just got a laptop down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right next to the video that's playing a woman breastfeeding the entire time.
Just Airbnb.
Airbnb, yeah.
I think the next film we'll touch on, what we had in the rundown.
That'll be the longest review today, I think. That's the most interesting to talk about.
We can just skip by a few of these, but Causeway came out yesterday. Me and Tyler watched it. Cam, you watched it. George, did you end up watching it?
No, I didn't watch it.
George, I'm sure you would like this. So it basically is a A24 drama. So Jennifer Lawrence is the star, and she's great in it. I found it a lot more human and down to earth than a lot of roles. Brian Tyree Henry who played, was he Lemon in Bullet Train? I get confused. Yeah, he's also in it as well. It basically follows Jennifer Lawrence, who is a U.S. soldier. She suffers a traumatic brain injury whilst on tour in Afghanistan. Struggles to adjust back to life back in New Orleans, and she's got home traumas as well. But I just thought this was just a slow burn study on trauma, hope, friendship. Jennifer Lawrence is really good. It offers like conflict, comfort, hope. I really enjoyed this film. Tyler, I know you didn't like it as much as me, but you went to see it first and you quite liked it. Is that right saying?
Yeah, I gave it a 6.8 out of 10. And for me, I think it's good that this is a streaming movie, because I wouldn't say this is one I would tell people to go buy a ticket at a theater to go see this movie, because it is just such a classic A24 film. It's just incredibly human. It's a drama with great performances. I know, Seth, you said you teared up in this one. Nothing blew me away. I tear up at
every film, Tyler. It doesn't mean
fair.
Anything.
But I feel like this to me was just like the textbook definition of a good movie. Like I feel like no one can watch Causeway and be like, this movie stunk. But I don't think anyone's gonna watch it and say this is a 5 out of 5 star movie. Jennifer Lawrence, though, I would give her an Oscar nomination for Best Actress for this one. I thought she absolutely crushed it. She has to go from someone who barely has any motor skills and can not remember anything and not talk at the beginning of the movie to slowly, as she goes through therapy, she's slowly regaining her ability to move and talk, and just being able to portray that was very masterful. But yeah, I just thought it was good. There's one, yeah. So like the only thing I guess I have to say, which none of this is spoilers, it's kind of like a movie you can't really spoil. There's not really like a spoiler plot, but
No, not really.
the kind of main theme I got from this movie, like what I like took away from it, was like people finding solace in bad situations to get away from even worse situations. Because she's like the whole movie, like, I need to get back to Afghanistan. I need to get back because she didn't like her home life wasn't great. And then her brother, we find out he's in a bad situation to get away from an even worse situation. And then obviously Brian Tyree Henry is also in a bad situation. But yeah, that's just kind of what I got out of it. It's just kind of interesting because you never really think about that. People in bad situations, you're like, why are they in that shitty situation? You're like, well, maybe they're out of like that shitty situation is their ticket out of like a very shitty situation. But that's really all I have to say. I thought it was good. I gave it a 6.8 out of 10.
That scene with the brother, I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
The scene with the brother, it was really good.
That was really good. And I gave this a 78 out of 100, or translates to a 4 out of 5.
I get a 4 star.
So I did like it a lot, a little bit more than Tyler and Seth about as much. But what I'll say is, I think this thing for me at least really benefited from the fact that it's an hour and a half, and I sat down and watched it on my couch. Tyler, this was your second watch on like a 3-run movie day. I completely understand. This movie's not going to capture you if it's your second, third, fourth watch of the day. It's very nice that it's on streaming and it's only an hour and a half. That's all you need for this kind of story. I think when you have this kind of story and you push it into 2.5 hours, like that's when you really struggle. It's
like
Jennifer
The Good Nurse for me.
Yeah, like The Good Nurse. I agree with that actually. But yeah, it's literally just I almost wish they dove into Jennifer Lawrence's rehab a little bit more of like, because they spend about 10-15 minutes on her like actually coming back from war, being like slightly paralyzed, having like obviously head trauma. So they spend about 10 minutes on that, and then all of a sudden she's back at home. She's like been through this recovery, and now it's how she can like go back into the world. Obviously meeting Brian Tyree Henry. Also, Seth, you didn't mention it. He's from Eternals as well. Come on.
I haven't seen Eternals.
I know.
I'm not there yet.
I know.
I didn't know he was in that, actually. Yep. I need to see him in more things.
Fastos.
Has he got a big part, or is it like quite a...
It's one of the Eternals.
Is he? Okay.
About as big of a part as the others. Maybe a little more.
He was in Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, I think he's the dad.
He was in Joker as well.
When's he in Joker?
He's the guy who lives near him or something. There's one guy who dies, isn't it? And then he's like with him or something like that.
I can't remember, but I want to see more of Brian Tyree.
Oh no,
Henry,
sorry,
though,
he was a clerk.
He's really great. He's awesome
yes.
in all of those things you just mentioned. I don't know about Joker. Can't remember that one. Is he the dad in? Yeah, I think he is in Spider-Verse. Whatever. But yeah, it's not going to blow you away other than Jennifer Lawrence's performance. And that's only for people that like care about that kind of stuff. I think if I watched this with my wife, she wouldn't really care about her performance necessarily, but she might be moved by the emotion in this story. So it's one of those things where I think, if you're a big fan of seeing someone's great performance, you'll have some respect for this movie, at least a little bit, just in what she was able to do.
I also think a lot of people would probably like this more than us if they had a personal connection to one of the traumas that she experienced, because it's one of those where there is so many things in this that are very common occurrences for a lot of people, where if they watched it, they might think, okay, I connected with this in a way. I'm trying to find hope off this film, if that makes sense. So I think it depends on your kind of life experience as well, if you're going to like this. But we won't touch on that one too long. Did we all watch Wendell Wild, the new Netflix film?
I did. Yeah, I mean, us three minus Tyler, it seems.
Okay, yeah. So it's the new. So Wendell Wild is a new Henry Cavill film, who obviously did Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas. What else did he do?
Did he do Frankenweenie?
No, he did James and the Giant Peach. Wasn't Frankenweenie? I think it.
I don't remember.
It's basically a new animated film on Netflix. Two demon brothers enlist the aid of Cat Elliot, a tough team with a load of guilt, to summon them to the land of the living, but what Cat demands in return leads to a brilliantly bizarre and comedic adventure like no other. I watched this just before we started recording. I give it a 3 out of 5. I think it's had a lot of fun moments, a lot of likable characters, but for me, it felt very bloated. There was way too much going on, and there wasn't like a strong central storyline to me. There wasn't something to focus on. There was just so many bits here and there. George, I know you were the first to watch it. What did you think?
Yeah, I kind of echo that sentiment. I think there was a lot. I think one of you two had texted it. This movie needed to be an hour longer. I gave it 3.5.
You said that.
Oh, I said that?
You said that. I said they rush it, but I think if it was an hour longer, it would have been worse.
Oh no! I think if it was an hour longer, it would have benefited completely because I think I mentioned that this movie just had no connection to me. They didn't do a good job fleshing out any of the characters. There were a lot of moments that should have made me either tear up, cry, or have an emotional connection to that I just didn't feel because the movie didn't do a good enough job at building up anything. I also didn't like the fact that I had no idea who the main character was. We kept jumping back and forth from a lot of people very quickly, and it was just a little hectic. I give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars because I'm an absolute sucker for a beautiful looking film, and I do think this movie it was technically very sound. The comedy hit, the emotion kind of hit, could have hit more. Movie needed to be an hour longer.
Would you have watched a 3-hour version of that, or just under? That's a long animated.
Yeah, that's a long animated movie. Maybe two movies.
Yeah. Maybe even a show, like a limited series, like realistic.
Tyler, is it all right if I spoil it a little? Okay, or a lottle. So this is going to be like spoilers. I gave it a 73 out of 100, so like 3.5. And where I like this is what George said. Like it looks great. It looks really good. It's a different kind of animation that I think it's not stop motion. I'm thinking of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, but yeah, that's what I just had that on my mind. But so my biggest issue, there are like 4 storylines in this movie. So there's Wendell and Wild, who are like demons, who sneak up into the real world to stop cat or to
Jordan Peele and
Jordan Peele and thank you. So they go up to the real world. There's the cat dealing with the trauma that she got scared of a worm when her parents were driving, and then her parents drove off cliff and died. There is the Trump character who is trying to build prison and basically ruin the town that Cat's from. And then there's maybe one more that I can't think of right now. So when Wendell and Wild, like the lead demon guy, comes to the city or comes to the real world, he basically like his plot. I forget this movie, unfortunately, even though I watched it like 2 days ago. I forget exactly what happens. His plot's solved in 3 seconds. Cat, so they have hair cream that can bring back the dead. So Cat's parents are brought back for a short period of time. Her like trauma is resolved in like within 2 minutes of that previous plot that I just mentioned. And then they have to worry about the destruction that the Trump character is about to cause on the city to build his prison. And that's like the biggest plot line, but I feel like more it should have dealt with Cat's parents, like reconnection and like her getting a little bit of like resolution to the fact that the entire movie, she thinks she killed her parents because she screamed about a worm and her dad looked back while driving and then had to swerve and all that jazz. One thing leads to another. That was my biggest issue, is that like these 3 plot lines just kind of all felt rushed. I agree. When I think they should have picked one, dealt with that specifically,
and then lingered on to other ones.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I give it a 3. George gave it 3.5. Cam gave it 3.5. Obviously, Tyler, if you watch it this week, we can go through it. I think it's important to mention that a few people messaged me asking if we're going to watch Weird Al.
I want to.
Yeah, so we'll probably obviously watch that if we can. Most of us can watch that next week. We'll probably go over that next weekend. I'll touch on. I know none of you have seen it, but I'll touch on The Wonder like really quickly. The Wonder is basically a new it's a Netflix kind of drama, and it's set in the Irish Midlands in the mid 1850s. An English nurse who's played by Florence Pugh goes to watch over a girl who hasn't eaten in 4 months, but she survived. This is I thought this was like a lot better than I thought. It is a Netflix original. I went to see it the other day. It releases on the 16th of November. It's very thought-provoking, very psychological. It's honestly got horror elements. It's got George written all over it. The sound design's really good. The setting looks amazing. The setting's very reminiscent of Banshees of Inisherin, which obviously I loved as well. I give it a 4 out of 5. I just thought I'd mention that, but we can obviously move on to the trailers that we got this week. The first one we want to touch on, Avatar 2, the full trailer got released along with the poster. Who wants to give thoughts about this first? It looked amazing, but what are we thinking? George, give your thoughts.
I think the trailer looks beautiful.
I think the second trailer really helped kind of elevate my excitement for this movie. You guys know how I feel about the original. It's just not my cup of tea. I think it is, a staple in visual storytelling, but don't think it holds up well. First Avatar trailer is very quick. It's basically a teaser, not much to it. So even after that, I was kind of like, okay, where are we going with this? And this trailer kind of sold me on the movie. It seems like this just grand in scale film. It kind of has a Dune world building feel to it, which obviously we saw in the first one, but it looks like they're going to expand on it like crazy in the second one. So I enjoyed the trailer. I had absolute FOMO when I was in my office and I couldn't post a trailer reaction to it. But I think the trailer was very good. I think it did what it had to do to elevate my excitement and actually get me to the theater on opening day.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think I'm not as sold on it as you yet because I just didn't love the first one. But I think visually, the world building looks immaculate. But I think this is going to be expected, though, isn't it? He's been working on this for such a amount of time, and how good the first one looked, it was expected. Tyler, you're probably the most excited for it out of us four, I would say.
I would say so, yeah. And I think it'll be interesting to see how this movie turns out because it's going to be 3 hours and 10 minutes, and it's Avatar 2. But I feel like it's almost going to feel like an Avatar 1 in terms of if he's trying to make 5 movies total, I think he's kind of going to try to open up the entire world, do a lot of world building. I feel like Avatar 2, even though it's a sequel, might feel a lot like Dune did, like George mentioned, where there's going to be a lot of world building because this went from a movie that was just a one-off, hypothetically at the time in 2009 when it came out, or earlier than that, I don't know. Yeah. And but now he's going in it for the long haul of 5 movies that are going to be 2.5 hours minimum probably each. So I feel like we're going to get a lot of setup in this one. Do we think this breaks box office records? I think it will. I think it will.
Yeah.
Because when they re-released Avatar 1, they literally were like the highest grossing movie that weekend because people thought it was Avatar 2. So literally just confused people that thought this was the second one going to the theater was enough to be like the top of the box office for that weekend of a re-release. So that's why I think this will still break records.
I think when we look at it as well, we often look at it as the film talk community. A lot of people don't love it as much as the general population. There is a lot more of the general population, and a lot of people think Avatar is like one of the best films of all time. The fact that this is getting a sequel is going to draw insane numbers. So I think you might be right, Tyler. I think, especially with the re-release of the first one, the amount of people who went to see it, like how much it boomed. I don't know. I think you could be right. Cam, did you manage to give it a watch?
Yeah. So I texted you guys this morning and was like, I realized I never actually watched the trailer. So I finally did watch it like right before we hopped on. It looks really good. What I'll say, I'm not an Avatar guy, and I've been kind of an Avatar hater for a long while. I think it's a good movie. I only saw it like a year ago at this point.
Really?
Because I was boycotting it. So I never went and saw it in theaters. And then when I started to get into movies a lot, like in 2016-ish, I kind of boycotted it because I'm like, why is this movie the highest grossing of all time? It's just me being petty for a long while. And I'm still just going to be a dick about it. But so like I have a running joke with a couple of my friends who are into movies that like I'll just never see this thing. Obviously I will go see the second. But so like I said, I got started like kind of liking movies in like 2016 area. So I've been like listening to podcasts and stuff on movies for a long while. And the intrigue for this movie for me is only because of how many times like it's been delayed. It's gotten to the point that like I just think James Cameron is such a jackass. This thing better be incredible. So I tried looking it up, like all 6 times James Cameron's Avatar 2 was delayed. So his goal was back in 2014.
Was that the first goal? Wow.
Yeah, then it was delayed to 2016. In October 2010, in October 2010, he announced that it was going to start in 2011. Avatar 2 and 3 were going to come back to back. So then it went 2014, and then it went 2016, and then 2017, 2018, 2020. We'll give them COVID. I'll give them COVID for one. And now it's finally 2022. Oh, no, I guess actually 2 months after the Fox Disney deal went down, they announced that it would be December 17th, 2021. So it's been delayed so many times. And I've kind of been like following this delay, because one of these times it got delayed because like James Cameron was like, oh, I can't get the way water looks right. Yeah. And then if you watch Aquaman, like James Wan did it really well. Do that. No one's going to say anything. It looks fine. Fuck you, James Cameron. And now he's got, and this is just me going on a rant. Now he's got 5 more planned for this movie that is madness. A good movie. Yeah.
So mad.
Come out with the second, and then I'll let you.
Then we'll
plan.
See.
Yeah. I have to wait another 12 years. This will officially be my least favorite franchise in history. And it's maddening that this thing's considered a franchise. You've got one movie. It's one. It's
how old is James Cameron? Like
he's fucking 82.
Old.
Is he?
No, I
he's like 60s, 70s.
He's got to be like 67. That's my guess. 68. Yeah, I guess.
That you haven't got that much left. Sure.
Exactly, man. And it's like, it's just God. He's just such a jackass. This to me, also tell me if I'm wrong, is no different than a fucking MCU movie. So when he sits there and he's like, MCU movies are ruining cinema. It's Avatar's the same fucking thing. It's just
I thought it was Martin Scorsese that said that. I didn't know James Cameron also.
James Cameron has said it. No,
James Cameron said that.
Everyone. David Fincher said it. Tarantino said it. Everyone.
It's fine. It doesn't matter. But all I'm saying is Avatar is the same fucking thing. It's giant CGI blue things running around having sex with their hair.
When does that happen in MCU thing?
Well, the difference between superhero movies and Avatar is that Avatar actors literally are holding their breaths under real water, whereas it's not CGI. Have you seen the stack ranking? Like every actor and actress is like, this actor on Avatar 2 has held their breath for 4 minutes 55 seconds, and you can see like the ranking of how long.
I don't believe that. I think they're lying.
I would fold so fast if you asked me to do that.
I'd do like 20 seconds.
Do you know how much like training you have to like? What's fucking David Blaine's record?
Like hours.
But to be fair, Tyler, that's like when they say lies. That's when they say like Chris Evans added like 20 pounds of muscle in like a month. Right. Do you know what I mean? They always come out with these stats, don't they? It's like,
well, I mean, Chris Evans did that by pricking his ass with a certain substance.
Exactly.
But do this 15-minute body weight circuit every day, and you'll get Chris Hemsworth's
eat
body.
Your chicken. Yeah.
Back to the trailer. I'm very excited for this movie now because I hate it so much.
Honestly, I'm gonna discredit Cam's hatred for Avatar 1 a little bit. I didn't know you didn't watch it till like a year ago, and you were hating on it. So the first time ever you watched it was a year ago, you said?
Yeah.
But you were hating on it for years before then.
No, I just didn't go and see it for years before. Oh, yeah, I was like, why did this movie? Yeah, I was boycotting it. I never said I didn't like it. I just said
I think a lot of people did that when they found out it was like the biggest grossing movie.
I mean, it came out in 2009, so I would have been 10. I don't know. My parents didn't take me to see it in theaters.
It's a little xenophobic against blue people, Cam.
Yes, man. Fuck, have sex with your hair.
Right. I think that ends the
That being said, Sigourney Weaver's playing a child. Weird. Was water that involved in the first one?
No.
I forget.
Not that I can remember.
Why is it so important here?
Because it's the way of water.
The final battle of the first one was in the sky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Well,
move on.
Brilliant. So the next trailer we got, I don't know if anyone watched this. I watched this morning. The Eternal Daughter. Mm-hmm. The new one with Tilda Swinton. I think it's like a horror, mystery horror kind of thing. Basically, this follows an artist and an elderly mother confront long-buried secrets when they return to a former family home, now a hotel haunted by its mysterious past. It's got a few reviews. It's got a 3.4 on Letterboxd straight away. This releases in, I think it's December the 2nd, but that is a US release date, so I'm not actually entirely sure on here because you never know. This looks, for me, this is something I'm interested in. George, I'm sure you're quite interested in this as well due to the context of the film.
Yeah, I watched the trailer this morning actually, just because I saw it on the rundown. I didn't even know this movie existed until this morning. It gave me like heavy Haunting of Hill House vibes.
Obviously, I don't think this movie is going to go the supernatural route,
but more so in terms of like kind of going back to an old childhood location and kind of the exploration of trauma and guilt and whatever this movie is going to entail. Tilda Swinton is amazing. I thought she was amazing in 3,000 Years of Longing. So I'm very excited to see her in. And obviously she's done like The Dead Don't Die. So she's been in horror or whatever you want to consider this thriller mystery films before. But I really want to see kind of this dive into a dramatic character from her. And obviously the aesthetic of the film is something I absolutely love. Like, without a doubt.
So yeah, Eternal Daughter, like me and George are excited. Cam, Tyler, did you get a chance to watch this as well? Cam, I think you said you did, didn't you?
Yeah, I watched it. And all I'll say about this, it looks really good. All I'm gonna say is Tilda Swinton is obviously playing two characters. She's playing herself and then like an older version of herself, if I remember correct, or is it her grandmother? Whatever.
Yeah.
Every damn Twitter account thinks they're the smartest person in this world tweeting starring Tilda Swinton and Tilda Swinton. Every Twitter account thinks it's.
I haven't seen that.
The marketing person, the first person who did that is like, man, this is good. And then every Twitter account just copy and pasted because we have news on, like notifies on for like 5 or 6 different, movie accounts. All 5 of them when they tweeted this trailer said starring Tilda Swinton and Tilda Swinton. And after the 4th one, I was like, fuck you. I'm done with this.
I'll be honest, I hadn't even heard of this film.
No, I haven't either.
I had no idea.
I just saw the trailer.
The trailer, literally, to me, I don't know why, but I don't know if it's the color palette or the shooting style or the cast or what, but it just, to me, looked like a Wes Anderson horror movie. Like, for some reason, I was getting Wes Anderson vibes from that trailer.
Well, she was in a few Wes Anderson films.
Yeah, it could be that. I think it was tripping me out with that part. But Martin Scorsese's executive producing this. He's not directing it, which means he's just putting his name on this as the backer, which means this better be cinema. Because he's so critical, this better be a great film. If he's
this will be a layered film. It will have a lot of themes. It's psychological. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting from it. But yeah, like it looks interesting.
Looks solid.
The next one, George, you sent this into the chat the other day. It's a new Norwegian film called Troll. Basically, when an ancient troll is awakened in a Norwegian mountain, a ragtag group of heroes must come together to try and stop it from wreaking deadly havoc. Do you know what? It looks really intriguing.
Dude, I was watching that trailer and I was like, yo, this shouldn't look as good as it kind of looks. But at the same time, Seth, I actually saw your TikTok this morning where with the Netflix logo and you were like, lower your expectations.
Yeah.
It applies to this movie completely, and I thought that TikTok was hysterical. But I don't know. I watched this trailer. I thought it looked good. I thought it looked eerie. I thought it looked tense. It looks like it's going to be a gruesome and gore. It also looks like it might be a hysterical movie at the same time. Like, there's no way you could make a movie about a troll harassing a town without making it intentionally or unintentionally funny.
Yeah.
So
I think it looks really. It just looks like a film I want to watch, and I don't know why. It just looks stupid, but it also looks like maybe it could be good. Did any of you two get a chance? Tyler, did you watch this?
Yeah, I mean the visuals do look good, so I can see why people would be interested in it. But yeah, we have zombie movies, we have vampire movies, we have all serial killer movies. Why haven't we gotten a good troll movie? I've been asking myself. We've done all these other tropes. We need troll movies. I don't think last troll movie I've seen was The Philosopher's Stone. Is probably the last thing I can remember a troll being.
No, there was one which was like a mockumentary that came out a couple of years ago that got pretty good reviews. I think it might have been a Swedish film.
Oh my god!
What?
I know what movie you're talking about. I just don't know the name.
Have you seen it?
I think so.
You know this random ass movie, but you don't know Tower Heist.
Okay, no one in the world knows Tower Heist.
Is it Troll Hunter?
Was it like Troll Hunter?
Was it Troll Hunter? Yes.
I liked that. I liked 2010.
That's also a Norwegian film. Are trolls big over there?
Trolls just troll mythology's out here huge in Norwegian.
It runs into mythology, doesn't it? But I mean, it looks interesting. It's whatever.
Also, George, I'm gonna call you out because you just said in Norwegian. It's Norway.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be that guy. I will say, this entire trailer section has just been Cam getting mad about random shit. I don't have anything to be mad about this one, so I'll let it be.
That's a win. That's a win.
Oh,
for Troll,
actually, though,
brilliant.
You skipped over one, and I'm not gonna let you.
Which one? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. I'll go for it. Do you know what? This completely skipped. Okay. A Christmas Story is getting is it a remake or a sequel? I've never seen the original.
The sequel.
The sequel.
Okay. I know apparently this is like a huge Christmas tradition film. It might be a US thing more than here because No, I've never seen it, and I can't recall. I asked Anna earlier; she'd never heard of it, so I don't know. But apparently a lot of people loved it. It's got pretty good reviews, the original, but I'll be honest, I didn't even watch the trailer.
It's like one of the biggest like Christmas movies. I think I don't love it as much, but I think Tyler said it's like one of his favorites.
My number one, yeah.
Yeah, it was on your video, it wasn't on TikTok when
I think it's top 10.
I mean, Tyler, it's definitely top 10 Christmas movies, probably.
Tyler, I'll go to you first then. What are your thoughts? Does it need to be made?
I mean, of course it doesn't need to be made. This trailer looks.
Well, I shouldn't have said that. But
this is the first
no
trailer.
film needs to be made.
Right. Well, okay. But you know what vibes I got from this trailer, which is just the worst vibe. Like if you say your trailer's giving this vibes, it's terrible. It gave me Grown Ups vibes, and that just all the comedy, the slapstick, the sliding down a hill and getting hit by a kid and then getting hurt. Like every single thing in this movie looks like Grown Ups. I will say Ralphie, the character who plays him, like his eyes are like the bluest eyes I've ever seen. His eyes are freaking nice eyes, buddy. Yeah. But this movie's gonna be dumb. But I'm gonna watch it. Christmas Story is my favorite Christmas movie of all time. This movie's not gonna come close to it. It doesn't even look like they're going for the same thing. He's like coming back to his town to spread Christmas cheer once again, and whatever. It'll be stupid. I forget. Is this going on a streaming service or what's the deal with this thing?
It's Disney. No, it's HBO Max.
Really?
I thought it was Disney Plus as well.
It's not. No, the Christmas Story is not Disney. Well, maybe shit. Let me look it up. George, do you have thoughts?
No, honestly, not really. I don't want to say the movie doesn't need to be made because no movie needs to be made. But
I'll always come back.
I'm kind of hoping this is maybe like a Ewan McGregor, Christopher Robin kind of movie where it just like kind of captures like that emotion and like the nostalgia of the original films and just brings it to an older gentleman, and I don't know.
Okay, well, my expectations were right in the middle. You see the Netflix logo goes down. I see HBO Max. We're going from 2.5 to 3. I'm going for 3 out of 5 is my expectations now.
That's fair.
The only thing I'll get mad about in this trailer is this entire trailer is just like Dad made it look so easy to put on Christmas. Christmas isn't that fucking hard, guys. All right, you get your presents a month in advance, and you don't have this whole it's the day of and I have no presents. Just buy them early. Also, it's putting up a tree. It takes 3 minutes. You just up. So that's my only thing. Christmas isn't that hard.
Just wait till you spend like $400 on your kids' Christmas in a couple of years, and they're gonna be complaining that you got them the worst toys ever. You're gonna be like, Christmas sucks.
Probably, yeah. But that's all I have to get mad about. It looks fine.
Okay, so move on to trailers into whoever wrote this called it Nerd News, which basically, of course it was. First thing, Star Wars. Daphne Keane. Logan Younggal. I don't know.
You don't have to read word for word.
I don't know who this is.
She's the girl in Logan.
He hasn't seen Logan.
Dude, you're so lost.
See, that's an actual good, very, very good.
In fairness, right? I do want to watch that, but it just means that I'll have to go and rewatch and watch all the X-Men.
No, it doesn't.
See, I disagree.
I
disagree.
Really? I thought it was like really confusing.
No,
in the timeline.
You just have to know who Logan is and maybe who Patrick Stewart's Professor X is. Like, and even then, you don't really have to know. I mean, it won't give you as much of an emotional connection, but who cares?
Okay, that's fine. I can't cast in Cam. I can't remember how you say this.
The Acolyte. The Acolyte.
Why do I want to say Acolyte or something? It looks weird.
Man.
Cam, you go into this. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, so this is just like it's set like 100 years before Phantom Menace. Thank you, George. It's starring also Amandla Stenberg as well as Lee Jung-jae, who's from Squid Games. We don't know a whole lot. I just wanted to put it in there because the Logan gal is like, she was great in that, and she was just a little kid at the time. I don't know if I've seen her in much since. Do you know anything she's been in, George?
No.
It's been a couple of years, like 2017 is when it came out. So, they posted a picture of her now, and I'm like, holy shit, she's like a real person.
Yeah, she's like a human being.
Yeah, right? Like, she's not just
a straight up adult.
Yeah, exactly.
So we don't know much about this then, yeah.
Okay. No, I mean, we know it's like, so it's the rise of like the dark side. It's like it's supposed to see like the first dark side user. So it could be interesting. It's something I'm excited for. It's probably not something like most people are wanting, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah, makes sense. In terms of Marvel, so Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who was in Candyman, he was in Us. What else? is he in?
Trial of the Chicago 7.
Trial of Chicago 7. He's been
in Aquaman.
I haven't seen that yet. Fair enough.
That's fine.
So he was cast as Simon Williams for the new Marvel series Wonder Man. I believe this is a rumor that it's possibly getting Bob Odenkirk in as well as Simon's manager. That is a rumor. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
It's not.
I think it's one of those that next week we're gonna get like the confirmation. It's like when Harrison Ford was rumored, but it's by every single big source. You know, I'm sure they're just working on.
So it'll be announced. Yeah. Any thoughts on that at all? Because
I don't know anything about Wonder Man.
I don't know anything about Wonder Man, but
it's another rich guy from what I've Googled.
Yeah.
Another rich guy
in the MCU.
Brilliant.
What I've Googled.
So original.
Yahya Abdul-Mateen is great. I think that's what George.
He's a very good actor.
He is great.
So fucking good, man.
And Bob Odenkirk is also.
It's another one of those where it's just like Marvel's casting well. Will the show be great? Well, we're going to talk about this in a little bit. Will the show be great? Probably not. But Marvel did really well.
No shot.
Yeah.
Did really well casting.
So. Well, he's freaking Jack. So if they put him also on the MCU sauce, then he's gonna become.
He's gonna be
Jonathan Majors. Jack
no, he's gonna be way bigger than Majors.
He's gonna be
mouse.
Yeah, it looks like he's a very powerful being, but I don't really know.
Shocker! A superhero is a very powerful being.
Sometimes you get like a Hawkeye. All right,
Hey, chill out, bro. Chill. Hawkeye's the man.
Mid-eye.
I do like Hawkeye.
Okay, right. We'll move on from that then. Brilliant. Aubrey Plaza star as the villain in Agatha Coven of Chaos series is possibly going to be 9 episodes.
Who kicked off my other castings? Or did those just not go on? No, I see what you're seeing. I definitely have more castings. Doesn't matter. There were like 5 other castings announced, but they don't matter. As much, at least.
Hey, I'm reading off the log.
No, I appreciate that. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming you. I'm saying someone took them off. I'm looking at
any thoughts on
I didn't take it.
I don't know what this is, to be honest.
I think it's funny that I guess the MCU, Kevin Feige sees that everyone hates the 6-episode format. So
have you noticed they have just as many 9 episodes?
I know, that's what I'm saying. So I think it's funny that when like there is a 9-episode format, they're like shoving it down our throat and making us aware that it's 9 episodes, as if that's going to save this show from being any more mid than it's about to be.
Wait, which ones are 6 episodes? Was She-Hulk 6?
Well, no. So
She-Hulk was 9.
Oh, that's good.
So Loki is 6. Moon Knight was 6. Miss Marvel was 6. But then you have like What If is 9. WandaVision was 9. This is about to be 9. Something else was 9. And so they kind of like sneak in a little 9 every once in a while, and then mid.
Big 6'9" guy, Kevin Feige. Do we need an Agatha Coven of Chaos show?
No,
I know it's like this is like, I think easily, and this isn't a hot take, I think almost everyone agrees, this is one of my least anticipated Marvel projects coming up by far.
Here's what I'll say. We don't know. I agree with you. It's like it's low on my list for sure. I fucking love Catherine Hahn though, but that's just from like, Step Brothers and she's great in like Parks and Rec. I also fucking love Aubrey Plaza. She's awesome. She'll be great in this, but again, just like we said with Yahya Abdul-Mateen, great casting. Is this show going to be any good? Probably not. There were like 5 other castings as well, but I didn't know any of those names. So it's fine that they got taken off.
Okay. So Paul Bettany, who I believe plays Vision, did he do a voice of?
He was Jarvis's voice.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what. Come on, man. Know your lore.
That's easy. That's easy stuff.
It's MCU stuff. Back to the Vision, new Vision Quest Disney Plus series. I spoke to Anna. She said she wasn't that excited about this. So that general MCU opinion. Are any of you particularly excited? Is this a project you're anticipating at all?
Cam, maybe, or Tyler, maybe you could answer this. Is this going to be following White Vision? Mm-hmm. So is this going to be his like attempt at getting back to Wanda?
Just remember, he was the ship thing. He was all like, "Hey, I'm a ship, and is my bones the ship, or is the piece of wood the ship? Who knows? So he's like, who am I?"
Okay,
that's what the whole show will be about. So what this is? This is like in the Marvel Phase 6 slate when they had like the 3 movies, and then they had like Untitled Project. That's just what all this shit is.
Okay,
they're just filling in the blanks basically without actually filling them in.
Maybe even lower on the rung of, do we need this show than Agatha Coven of Chaos? Like, it might be the least ever of a Marvel project.
Yeah, I probably care about this just because like Aubrey Plaza getting added to the cast. Like I probably care about this one the least. You know, Paul Bettany's gonna be back in that fucking makeup chair for 35 hours to make a.
It just feels like it's gonna be really a really
show.
inconsequential show, but maybe I'll be proven wrong.
I mean, more MCU things for me to watch. Isn't
it's wild to me that he's still willing to get in that makeup chair and sit there for this long.
I mean, you would too if you were being paid millions.
Yeah,
I would. But there are a lot of people who don't. Malekith. Shoot, I can't think of any more. All right, so maybe I'm just thinking of Malekith, but he hated that shit, and he's already been paid his millions.
Yeah.
Do you need more millions? Maybe. I don't have any millions, so I don't know. Who knows?
I did see this. DC reportedly went after Kevin Feige to take the lead of DC films.
Just awesome move. Just
really,
I like the move.
It's DC being like, hey, we'll pay you a little more. You want to come over here, make our movies good? Like, just
it surprised me when I saw it. To be honest,
I mean, it's just kind of funny.
I
just wanted to throw it in there for humor.
I think it's one of those bits of news where it's like it didn't happen, so like, why are you telling us that this was a possibility?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of like? Is it just
because that's going to get clicks? It's going to get talked about.
Yeah, I don't think DC or Marvel cares about the DC and Marvel rivalry as much as the fans do, and I think that bit of news dropping is just strictly to spark conversation and.
Yeah, that's what it is. It sparks conversation, sparks more marketing towards news sites. Yeah.
Did you guys see DC changed their logo? They're now the DCU rather than DCEU.
Yeah, stupid, but sure.
Detective Comics universe now. That's why it doesn't make sense, but I don't know if extended universe made sense either. So I think that for some reason they think the C is like in Marvel's cinematic universe stands for something else because they're like, we'll just use our C.
I mean, to be fair, DCEU is always annoying to say. Like,
it is. I agree.
Yeah, but that is like it's funny that you just put that in there because that was so funny to find. That was one of them that immediately when it was sent in the group chat, I was like, "Is this another disbussing film? Is this like a fake news?" But it ended up being
There's
real.
So many of them.
There's so many fake accounts, but that one was legit,
and it's only gonna get worse.
Right. It just gives me the vibe of like if like a low tier college football coach like just starts coaching some like lower tier team and he just calls up like Alabama, like the best team in the nation, and be like, "Hey, starting quarterback, you come over here. My team sucks compared to your team, but how about you come over here?" And then he's like, "No." He's like, well, I tried."
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Tyler. It's just funny.
I respect the attempt for sure.
Yeah, it's outrageous, which is quite nice.
That's like everyone before Henry Cavill was confirmed to be back as Superman. Everyone was like, "How amazing would it be if the MCU brought him in as like Captain Britain or something?"
Yeah,
like that would have been legitimately the greatest thing ever.
On some new, to be fair, we spoke about this like last week or the week before. So is it Kristen Milioti? I don't really know who this is.
Yes,
she's the mother in How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, right, yeah. So she'll play Sophia Falcone, who star opposite Colin Farrell in The Penguin. She'll be fighting with the Penguin for control of Gotham. We spoke about this a few weeks ago. Any Batman Gotham, like I'm just excited for it. Whatever project it might be. I haven't really seen her in much. I didn't watch How I Met Your Mother. Like, it's not something that I'm interested in.
Palm Springs.
But is there any thoughts on this casting at all? I mean, I'm excited for the show.
We can clip parts of this episode and make an entire TikTok of you just saying things you haven't watched this episode.
Bro, the thing is, right, I'm not a pop culture kind of guy. That's just how it is.
That's fair. No.
Yeah,
I don't believe she was.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but that's it says Christian Bale is going to be in the upcoming Flash movie too.
That's fair. I haven't seen like anything other than Palm Springs or How I Met.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. She's the I remember this. She's the first wife to Jordan Belfort in The Wolf.
Wait, was she in Palm Springs?
Oh yes, you're right.
What?
Yeah,
she was in Palm Springs.
Yeah, she's the main character in Palm Springs.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, no, that you've seen. We talked about this the other day. I
do remember you. That's fine.
No, to the point of this casting, real quick. Tyler mentioned it, I think, a couple weeks ago, where it's like anytime this is the most anticipated anything in terms of franchise filmmaking right now. So
this show or just this franchise?
It's just the whole Batman universe. So anytime Allison News drops, I'm gonna have a massive hard on for it.
When I said this before, like I feel like the Batman universe it brings together the guys who are not into superheroes comic book films like me, and the guys who are, like a lot of you, and then there's so much viewing power for it because it's just so exciting every time they release something.
It's very David Fincher-esque, but you're basically just tossing a depressed dude in a bat suit.
Exactly.
It's also funny. It's interesting that you say that, Seth, because dude, I don't know what the fucking MCU crack people are on. Like, I'm bad with like my MCU fandom, but like the Batman made 770 million. It's a very good number. Every MCU movie makes $1 billion. It doesn't make sense. Who are these like fellas coming out of their woodwork? To be fair, I go and see both, and I saw the Batman multiple times in theaters.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh right. Okay. How many times? Twice.
I saw it 2 or 3 times. I went with my mom and my friend for sure, and I feel like I went with my sister. I
can't remember the last time I went to see a film twice. Actually, it'll be this week. I'm going to see Banshees of Inisherin again, so that'll be the first time. On some TV movie news. So obviously we got the news that Henry Cavill will no longer play. Is it Geralt or Geralt? Geralt, whatever it is. I can't. I played the game, but I never actually watched the show. I know a lot of, like, Anna said the show was really good. There's a lot of fans for this, and this got like a massive outrage when this news came out. He's been replaced by Liam Hemsworth. I saw like they did like a data collection of this, and it was like, I don't know, 100,000 people or whatever, and like 80% said that they wouldn't watch it. Now Henry Cavill isn't in it, and Liam Hemsworth playing it. Wow. It is a bit weird decision. Like, there was a quote came out that Henry Cavill like a couple of years ago said that he was committed to playing him for a really long period of time. Did anyone watch The Witcher here?
You're muted.
I didn't touch anything.
We need to go back to the tape and see if he touched it.
I didn't touch it.
I don't know. Someone let us know.
Yeah, I watched The Witcher. I think The Witcher is a really solid fantasy show, and I think Henry Cavill is absolutely impeccable in this role. This news broke my heart. Tyler, I think we talked about it at dinner a little bit, where it's like kind of bittersweet because it seems like he's leaving The Witcher because he wants to focus a little bit more on maybe the DCEU and playing Superman.
DCU.
Yeah, DCU.
DCU, sorry. So it's a little bittersweet. Liam Hemsworth has size 56 shoes to fill right now. I could not imagine anyone else in this role other than
size
Henry Cavill.
Cup.
But I understand the look though, because he is like this also very handsome, muscular. Like it kind of works in terms of a look, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not even the look. It's Henry Cavill just pulled off this brute, dark, somewhat lonely, depressed man incredibly well. He had the perfect voice, the way he kind of dialed down his voice into a very low tone. He's perfect for this role. He truly is.
Everyone says that.
I'd go as far as saying he's one of my favorite castings in any film or television show. Really? There's one scene in episode 1 of The Witcher, season 1, episode 1. It's like a very one-shot 3-minute sword fight. No, it's a one-shot 3-minute sword fight. Henry Cavill's physicality, brutality, it perfectly just embodies what he needs to bring out for this role. I don't see Liam Hemsworth getting anywhere near to as good as Henry Cavill was for this role. I'm gonna watch it just because I like the lore of The Witcher. I enjoy this world. I enjoy this universe. I'm a sucker for fantasy, so I'm gonna keep watching it. But there's just no shot Liam Hemsworth comes anywhere near as good as Henry Cavill was.
Yeah, I think everything I've seen, there's not many people who are for this rather than against it. I think.
I haven't seen it.
Tyler, you haven't seen it either, have you?
Yeah, I've only seen the first season, but kind of like what George and I were also talking about at dinner. It's like if this just comes out that Henry Cavill only has Man of Steel 2 coming out now, like that'll be super disappointing that he had to abandon the show that he was so passionate about for so many years. Like we better be seeing like he's in Man of Steel 2 and in like a Justice League movie.
Have you seen like that? It may be to do with Man of Steel, but it's also a lot to do with like I guess the writers like don't like the source material or something, and Henry Cavill has had a lot of disputes with them about it. I've seen a lot of reports this week that like Henry Cavill like disagrees with a lot of the things the writers have done in the show, and he wanted to leave after like season 2.
Okay, that changes things a bit then.
Is it season 1? How many seasons have been going on? Is it 3?
4.
So but this is the fourth, right?
We're going into the fourth.
Yeah. Okay. So after season 2, I heard that like he wanted to leave, and I think honestly he may have just gotten like a reason to leave now.
Yeah.
So I've just seen a lot of reports like that.
So one thing someone put in the chat as well was that Westworld cancelled after 4 seasons. I don't know much about this show. I've never seen it. Who put it in the chat? Was it Tyler? Was it George? I can't remember.
I put it in there, but George has actually seen it.
Is it any good?
I love Westworld. I season 1 of Westworld, I don't think it's overselling it to say is one of the better seasons 1s of television ever. I do 100% agree that the show fell off from 2, 3, and 4, but it was still like really interesting and refreshing science fiction storytelling that I was just really attracted to. So it's just been a bad couple of weeks of news between Henry Cavill and Westworld being canceled. That one hurt too. I even tweeted just saying this hurts because it was a show I really enjoyed. I actually just finished season 4 not too long ago because I was just a little behind and couldn't watch it when it first came out. But that was sad to me.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but I know a lot of people like it.
Yeah.
Really
season one is very good.
Okay.
Yeah. That's season 1. Yeah. So Lupita Nyong'o was to be cast in the Quiet Place spin-off, Quiet Place Day 1. Interesting concept. I'm intrigued to see how they're going to go about this. I'm not really too. It's directed by the same guy who directed Pig with Nicolas Cage, which I haven't seen yet. I know it's a good movie. A few of you actually really like that, don't you?
Love Pig.
I like it a lot.
Tyler, go on. Oh, I was gonna say, yeah.
No, I was just saying, like, him directing, like, intrigues me. I mean, we mentioned this the other day. So this is 2024, and then there's a, I forget if this is a series or movie, but I think it's a movie. This is 2024, and then A Quiet Place Part 3 is 2025. And both The Quiet Places are good, really good movies. Like, the first is really, really good, and the second is very good. It's the same. I say it all the time. It's the same exact thing, but it doesn't do it any worse. So it's just like, it's a little bit lower, but I think it's still very good. And it's just kind of how many more of these are we going to get? How much in this universe can we go
before it goes down?
Yeah, before we start dropping like Halloween's, like Hellraisers, like that sort of thing. But we don't have to.
Why did John Krasinski dip out as directing this one? Is he directing?
He's directing the third. He's directing the
part
third.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is just like a spin-off. It's his idea.
The idea intrigues me. Like, if day one, like I don't know.
Like, how do you adapt to this new threat kind of thing? And they kind of touch on that in 2, Seth. I don't know if you saw that. They go into like the first day, but it's strictly with like John Krasinski's family. But it's I like Lupita Nyong'o.
Yeah, she's great. A sequel series to Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman is in the works at Netflix. Theo James will be the main star. Giancarlo Esposito cast as well. Like, we probably would guess that he's going to be the villain. Like, Cam, did you put it in there? It's probably a good guess, to be honest. I didn't love The Gentleman. Like, I thought I would like that a lot more because I loved Snatch. What are all our thoughts on The Gentleman here?
I think it's pretty good.
How good? I
have like 80. I have like 87, so 4.5. But I think that's where like Guy Ritchie, George and I have talked about this before. That's where like Guy Ritchie kind of peaks. I think Snatch is like, I think Snatch, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, and The Gentleman are like very good movies from him, but I don't think he has any like great movies.
I think Snatch is like a great film.
That's fine. I have it like 91. I think it's very, very good.
That is a great film.
I said this last week. 95 and higher for me is like a great. So I distinguish.
Okay, fair enough. But you think it's okay, fair. I don't know. This could be interesting. I didn't love the first one. Yesterday we got some news that James Wan, the Conjuring spin-off film that was focusing on the Crooked Man, is no longer happening. That's been fully cancelled. I'm not that bothered about it. I think the Conjurings were going very downhill anyway, and I think this spin-off wouldn't have been very good. Any thoughts on this at all? Was anybody excited for this? I'm probably not. George?
Anytime James Wan has a project or a potential project coming out, I get excited. I think he's one of the horror goats of the last couple of years, maybe even this entire century. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even know The Crooked Man was happening. So this news didn't like really affect me, but I don't know. I hope it's not because James Wan is going to decide to retire or something.
It's probably because he released *Malignant* and that wasn't a good film. So
it was a fantastic film.
Yeah, I believe you. Anyway, Scream 6 brought forward to March 10th. I think that was like a 2-week brought forward. Like,
who cares?
Okay, who cares? This is an interesting one. Warner Brothers are proposing to add to the Harry Potter franchise. I don't know if this is going to be a direct Harry Potter link or just like a continuation franchise like Fantastic Beasts. I can't imagine it'd be like a remake because it's very
It's too early for that. Yeah, it's too.
That would
early
be
for that.
stupid. That would be.
I've
ridiculous.
said I want to see like Harry Potter remade, but
Why?
That's when I'm like 50 or 60. Just I don't know. See where we're at with technology. But once I heard the news like that they'd possibly remake, my head switched and I was like, ew, no, don't do that. But
it's not even that long after it finished.
I know. Like I said, I liked the idea, and now I'm back on no.
Yeah, makes sense. Any other thoughts on this? Or
yeah, fucking David Zaslav is just going off this week. And dude's an
well,
idiot.
yeah, Fantastic Beasts hasn't been great, but I feel like it's been getting better. Like I think the latest one is the best of the Fantastic Beasts ones. You disagree?
No shot.
I think it's the worst.
That's the worst.
Really? Well, they're all
Yeah.
under 5. They're under 5 out of 10s for me. All of them easily.
Oh, I think the first is like okay. It doesn't. We don't have to. I think the first is okay, and I think second and third stink.
No, what I think is funny, what the Harry Potter movies try to do is the same thing that House of Dragon tries to do, where it's just like, let's just use all the same music from the original ones, then people will be gaslighted in their brain to like it.
yeah, but House of the Dragon was actually
Bangs.
Yeah.
Like, it was
Yeah.
actually very good. I think that's a harsh comparison because House of the Dragon's
No, it's the same. Like, come on, make your own new intro. Like, you don't need the same song.
Yeah, but
That's
I like
stupid.
it.
No, the only
Interesting.
reason they do it is because people are like, oh, it's Game of Thrones.
But
Yeah.
when he says like in episode 3 or something, talks about the house or the dance of fire, ice and fire, and then the song plays, I'm like, yeah. And then when I hear the Harry Potter theme, I'm like, all right,
Hey,
Yeah.
it's a vibe.
That's it. Yeah.
that's John Williams, bro.
I know.
That's the second greatest composer of all time.
It's best, greatest,
It's the second.
greatest.
We're not going into this again.
Number
Why would
one.
I? So the Russo brothers revealed that this went a lot of people spoke about this on TikTok. I don't know if anybody else saw it. That the Hercules live action remake will be experimental and TikTok inspired. What does that mean?
I think.
My you
I
go.
just want to say one thing.
Yeah, you
The way Cam calls James Cameron a jackass left and right is the way I'm going to start talking
Russo
about the
brothers.
Russo brothers.
Dude, they're on one.
Well,
They're on
first,
one.
They've made some of the biggest movies of all time, and they're out here saying like movie theaters are elitist and shit like that. And then there's this Variety magazine that came out and saying that the Russo brothers are going to change the landscape of Hollywood, and they don't care who they're going to piss off. They're jackasses.
They're idiots.
Yeah,
I don't like
dude,
them
I was gonna say that as well, George. Like they're not making people happy because they said like they have 4 young kids or like and that none of them care about the movies. You're a fucking director. Make them care about the movies. I like the movies.
Makes no sense. Their 4 MCU movies have combined to gross over like $6 billion, and they're gonna
What are there for?
Civil
Infinity
War,
War,
Infinity
Endgame.
War, Endgame, and Winter Soldier.
Civil War as well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So like the reason why their movies are so successful is because of a movie theater. Imagine if these movies just went straight to Disney Plus. They're sitting on $0. Like, fuck that.
Let's go back to another Game of Thrones comparison here, because I think that the Russo brothers are very much like D&D. Their movies are great when they have the source material of the MCU to play off of, but all the movies they make that aren't in the MCU fucking stink. And just like D&D, they were done with the book source material, and those final seasons came to a whimper. And I hope the Russo brothers are humbled, just like D&D were, because D&D tried to wrap up Game of Thrones quick to go work on Star Wars, and Star Wars said, that fucking sucks, you're fired. Now D&D, I hope, are fucking panhandling in LA somewhere, pissing
I
in
thought
the
you were
bushes.
talking about Dungeons and Dragons at first, and
No.
I'm like, dude, that's not Game of Thrones.
No,
But you're talking
the
about
bum writers of Game of Thrones
Benioff
were only
and-
good because they were able
Yeah,
of translating a book to a script. But just like the Russo brothers, every original project they've done has been horse crap. I quote tweeted that like The Gray Man was one of the most viewed Netflix movies of all time, and I was just like, that's just very unfortunate. Like there's so many better.
It doesn't surprise
There's so many better freaking Netflix movies. Like none of them are that great, but there's so many better ones than The Gray Man. And I gave it like
I think
There's
2.3 out of 10.
a few great ones.
I think there's like one or two more lackluster films from the Russo brothers, and I'm going to genuinely start questioning if they're even good filmmakers.
Oh, I'm already there.
Regardless of, because like I don't think The Devil All the Time was that great. The Gray Man was.
Wait, did they do The Devil All the Time?
No, Cherry.
No, they did.
Cherry. Sorry.
No, they produced Devil
All the Time.
They're like AGBO or whatever.
That's surprising. I didn't know they were involved with that.
Yeah, I was thinking of Cherry, which also not. I think I just had Tom Holland in my head and said the wrong.
Last thing in this rant. Of fucking course, your movie The Gray Man got so many views. You have Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. What do you fucking expect? Like you're gonna see
Anna de Armas.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay, that's
all I'll say is my clickbait TikTok did not do well, so I'm sorry, folks.
Which one?
That's right. We went
to one from the ReelTok account and was like, it's gonna be like Hercules and Meg starring Lil Huddy and Charlie D'Amelio.
but Cam, your two videos have been our most viewed.
True.
That's just what I do, baby.
We win some, we lose some. It's all good.
Like that. You just got it like that. Cam got it like that. Walsh.
I try.
Okay, so someone put this in the chat as well. There's another child. Peter Pan is getting a Neverland Nightmare film. This is the same guy who's doing Winnie the Pooh film. What's it called? Blood and Honey.
Blood and Honey. Hell yeah.
Do you know? Yeah, but I checked his filmography. He's also done another film that released this year, which is a Christmas horror.
Yeah, The Grinch. The Grinch.
No, that's not out yet. He's done a film this year. Oh. It's already released. It's like a weird Christmas horror that I have no idea was made.
Interesting.
There's so many. Like we got Violent Night, Blood and Honey, The Grinch, and now obviously the Peter Pan one. I mean, I'm watching them.
Oh hell yeah!
But like, I'm not expecting much.
As far as I'm concerned, these are future Oscar contenders. I hope this continues as a subgenre film for ever. I want to see every single childhood story turned into a horror movie. I want to see Clifford the Big Red Dog eat someone. You know, I want to see everything.
No, man.
I want to see. I want to see. I want to see a movie where the Teletubbies are.
Bro, they were scary anyway.
Serial killers and the
Here's
little kids that start on these shows get murdered. I want just ruin.
This one makes the most sense because Peter Pan is a story about a fucking man who comes and takes you to Neverland. This one makes the most sense. All right.
What are you talking about, bro? You don't think Winnie the Pooh slaughtering some people makes sense?
Dude, fuck this, man. So stupid. The Grinch is, and you know, The Grinch. I hope this sense. Like proves me wrong, and this movie's like fucking awesome. Winnie the Pooh is down to earth. It's gritty. The script is there. I hope it's amazing.
It won't be.
It'll be like.
I don't know about you guys, but David Harbour in A Violent Night is my best actor front runner right now.
Is that out?
Have you seen it?
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just saying.
You missed it when you went to.
I missed it when I went to Comic-Con. They had an early screening there. Yeah, it was a Saturday when I left. So whack. Give me all of these. Give me SpongeBob killing Squidward. I don't care.
I'd watch that. I'd watch that.
Like Squid. The other way around, actually. Like Squidward just had it up to his ends meat with this fucking sponge and just fucking rips him in half.
Yeah, and put Anna de Armas as Sandy Cheeks while we're at it. Like, let's just keep making this.
Jesus Christ. You're the horniest man on this.
Someone bugged this man.
Oh my God.
So Scott Derrickson is going on a new film. We've got 2 confirmed cast members so far. It's called The Gorge. Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller, so two very, very good actors. Basically, this follows 2 very dangerous young people find a soulmate in each other despite the corrupt and lethal world they operate in. Scott Derrickson did Sinister, Black Phone, Doctor Strange, the first one.
Nice,
good. Don't worry, bro. I'm getting that in. That's fine.
Well done.
This intrigues me because we don't know much, but just from the storyline, the 2 confirmed cast members. It sounds like something I'll probably go and see. That's all.
Sounds like it's going to be like a Wanted and Mr. and Mrs. Smith hybrid of some sorts.
Wanted and Mrs.
I know that movie is fine.
Like
you could say that.
When I read this little synopsis, I was like, okay, they're going for the brutality of Wanted, but the relationship intrigue of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Maybe. I don't know.
So David Leitch is the Fall Guy. David Leitch did Bullet Train. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah.
Which we all liked. Bullet Train.
It's in my top 10. Fuck you.
It wouldn't get into my top. Maybe just out. It wouldn't be that far off though.
I had it above Top Gun Maverick for quite some time.
Really?
Yeah. It's not above Top Gun Maverick anymore, but for a while it was.
That's okay.
Then I just
that releases March 2023. Cast includes Ryan Gosling, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Stephanie, I think it's Stephanie Shu. I think that's how you pronounce it. The Joy from Everything Ever All at Once, who was fucking great. Winston Duke and Emily Blunt. So it's got a really good cast. I mean, is anyone? I'm pretty excited for it just off the cast alone.
I'm shocked they made a movie about the game this quickly.
About what?
It's a game.
That's a Fall Guys joke.
Oh, right. I've seen that joke, and I didn't even get that. I've seen it on Twitter all the time. Okay.
Maybe I stole it from someone then. Sorry.
You definitely stole it off someone. You definitely stole it. Jake Elordi.
I appreciate your jokes, Cam. Thank you.
Thank you.
It didn't make me laugh, but I appreciate it.
There is like commenters that go on YouTube and just put like, I love Cam. Cam has these minions who just like his jokes. So I'm sure there's people who do appreciate it anyway.
We all love Cam.
Yeah. We all love Cam, don't we? He's
No.
Did you see what was his name? The guy who did the Anchorman of Us, and it was Brick was Cam. Yeah. That is the perfect.
That was the funniest fan cast I've ever seen.
And then Tyler was the guy who he just hates. What's his name? The sports guy.
Oh, Tyler was fucking not. I don't know.
What's his name?
The guy he really dislikes.
Yeah, he's never said a funny thing in his life.
I agree. Jacob Elordi is leading a new limited series which is set during World War II. We don't know much about this, but it's called The Narrow Road to the Deep North. Interesting. Obviously, he's also got all the projects going on, but whatever. Carlos Lopez Estrada set to write and direct a live-action remake of Your Name.
One quick thing, if just about Jacob Elordi, has nothing to do with that show. Have you guys seen the set pictures of him as Elvis?
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks a little odd.
No, I was gonna say he looks identical. Like
I think he looks very handsome.
I think he looks like a better Elvis than Austin Butler did, just based on these set photos. Like,
really,
I think
I thought he looked a little weird, but I didn't look at him too much.
Oh my I was looking at these set photos. I was like, damn, this might be
I'm looking at him right now, and I'm torn 50-50 between like some of them. I'm looking at him like, yeah, that's a good Elvis, and some of them like, but it's hard because these are paparazzi pictures. So when you take what he looks like in a the cinematography, I think he's gonna look great. But yeah, like the paparazzi pictures, I can see what Cam's saying. Like this, I don't know, but I can still.
It doesn't need to be.
It's gonna look great.
As good of a fit as Austin Butler was, because it's not the sole purpose of the film, is it? So it doesn't need to be identical like a lot of people said it was. But yeah, so obviously I did a video on this, the remake of Your Name, the live action remake. I think we've all seen Your Name here. I don't know if Tyler has. Tyler, have you seen Your Name? You have?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I truly believe it's one of the best romance screenplays I have ever seen.
Completely
it's
agree.
Absolutely incredible.
But it's too hard. It's too hard to read. So you gotta remake it.
Stop it.
I'm kidding.
I know.
I think it released in 2016.
But it's sad because there are people that are going to agree with that.
No, this is the thing. That's what I said. It's like, it's a case where it's for people who don't want to read subtitles. That's literally what it is. And why do we need a remake? Like, if anyone watches this, it is absolutely incredible. We don't need a remake.
Just like the Old Boy remake. It's just Americanizing
just like the Old
for
Boy,
no reason.
Just like Wreck, just like Get Carter. There's so many of these American remakes, and they're just absolutely pointless. They're built for an audience who just refuses to read subtitles. I don't get it. I don't think it's pointless. Friday the 13th prequel series in development, Crystal Lake on Peacock. I'm not really that bothered about this. Like, I know A24 are producing it, so that could be a good sign, but I can't say I'm too excited for this. Anybody else intrigued at all? Or
the A24 attachment is the only thing holding me onto it, but it's weird because like I'm excited for a Quiet Place sequel just because I want to explore that unit, the Quiet Place prequel, because I want to explore that world a little bit more, and I think it hasn't been oversaturated yet. We're at the point in the Friday the 13th franchise where it's like, who the fuck cares? Like, why do we need a prequel? I could not care less about the character of Jason and where he came from. Just keep him as this open for interpretation slasher guy.
Yeah. One more thing. We won't have to touch on this too long, but I just thought this would be a good little talking point for us. So, obviously, as Tyler mentioned earlier, Avatar 2 runtime is set to be 3 hours and 10 minutes. Now, the question I wanted to point towards you is like, I truly believe that this might not be the case for Avatar, but most modern releases are much longer than they need to be. Like, if we look at the most releases from the past 6 months, whatever, I was looking through them the other day, the majority are around 1 hour 55 to like 2 hours 15. Are modern films, are a lot of them too long, is one question Like, Cam, do you agree? Do you disagree?
I think it's just like I think it's blockbusters. Everyone wants more, everyone.
Well, I don't know if
wants
it
more
is
from
though. I
this.
don't know if it is blockbuster because even the small niche films that you watch,
I mean, yeah,
the good Nurse.
we talked about.
I have a question for you, Seth.
Yeah.
What is your time limit cap where you're going to start saying that movie is long?
I don't have one. I just mean like I
think anything above like 220 is where I'm going to start saying that movie is long.
I think it depends, but the argument I'm putting across is like films that don't need to be that long.
Yeah,
I know I keep going back to it, but
some do.
Of course some do. Like, this isn't an argument saying that I like if I had to choose between an hour 30 great film and a 2 hour 30 great film, I'd choose a 2 hour 30 great film.
Yeah,
because I want that experience to last longer, and a lot of films deserve to be that long. But I think when you're producing just a film that has such a simple narrative and it doesn't need these extended motions, these extended scenes that we don't care for. The Good Nurse being an example, I know I keep referring back to it. I just think a lot of films could just be shortened to 90 minutes, but production teams won't do that a lot of the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's just the case I'm going with it. Tyler, what do you think? I know you're about to.
Yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying. And one thing I'm starting to think is, I mean, plenty of people have talked about this in media, and anyone with a brain can see it coming. Like, the theaters seem like they could be on their last breath in terms of overall movie theater success over the next few decades. So I feel like it's getting to the point where every movie in a theater has to be like a blockbuster. And then when it's a blockbuster, it has to be like 2 hours or more in order to merit going to the theater. And I feel like I could see us going down a trend where if your movie's only an hour and a half, people are just going to say, no matter what it is, just going to say that should be a direct-to-streaming movie. It's only an hour and a half. It's not a movie theater going experience where it's 2 hours, 2.5 hours. And I feel like I could see in 10 years from now, movie theaters are purely just 2 hour, 2.5 hour, 3 hour huge budget films exclusively. Like, we're already seeing that right now. Like, there's so many indie films we all want to see that's like, shit, I'm gonna have to drive an hour to see this, even though it's by Park Chan-wook, an incredible director, or it's a Jennifer Lawrence film, or it's like movies that have what normally should be box office draws, or directors that should be the ones everyone's dying to see, but because it's not a blockbuster with 7 actors we all know, that's going to be some crazy action CGI piece. I don't know. I mean, unfortunately, I never want theaters to die. I love movie theaters, but it's inevitable. I mean, it's coming. I don't know.
Well,
I hope it comes later, but yeah, not soon.
Like, one of the biggest chains in the UK has just gone bankrupt. Like, that's but I think it's the biggest chain, or at least around us anyway, around where I am. But I just think a lot of them are too long. I don't know if anyone else thinks this, but every time I go and watch a new release now, it seems to be like an hour 50 and above.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but
I'd say for me, anything over 2 hours is where I get in it's long. Like, it's not like long in terms of where I'm going to watch and be like, but it's like where it pushes the limits. Like, Triangle of Sadness is one I'm the only one who's seen. And when you all see it, I think you'll all enjoy it, but you're all going to say like it should have been 30 minutes shorter. Like, it just goes on for way too long.
Yeah. But again, that's just my opinion on that anyway. Time to move on to the game of the week. So we have a draft again. People seem to like them. My choice for this was the 5. So we want to put across the 5 most influential films. So we each pick 5 films that we deem as the most influential in cinema. The order, I didn't cheat, by the way, is me, then Tyler, then Cam, then George. Snake draft as usual. So obviously we're back.
Bullshit.
Bro, do you know what Tyler said this last time. Being last isn't about
being last is actually fine. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you get 2 picks. I believe George won the last draft, and I won the costume one. George won the draft.
Yeah, congrats.
Cam is still winless on everything we've ever done. He's the only one now.
Well, we'll post the
All
poll.
I care about is the podium.
We'll post a poll on Twitter. Who has the cutest child? Gotta be.
There you
Damn,
go.
if I lose that one, I'm screwed.
I think we should say that George isn't allowed to post the story about vote for him. Every time you post, say vote for him, I check.
Just post, go vote on Twitter and see if it's anything.
And
no,
then,
every time it does it, I check before and after, and there's suddenly like an influx.
Vote for me.
Just run over.
But I will say there's one thing about Cam is Cam, I will not accept, since you're the only one who hasn't won, I will not accept if every week you start doing I'm just picking for me, I'm not picking for votes, because that's fine if you're doing that, but if you start saying that as like a sad boy trope, I'm just picking for me.
Hey, this is all I say. I promise my fan base a podium finish. That's all I'm here for. I'm not here to win. Just here to
Okay.
Last week I tried to win. I'm a little
First,
bummed.
you're last.
I'm a little bummed, but I'm just here for a podium finish. I'm still on Josiah's podium. If we're counting ties, which it seems like they are. So I'm in third there. So
Cool.
we'll take it.
Right. I'll go first.
W.
I am going to put across. People can probably guess this already.
Yeah.
The most influential sci-fi picture of all time, 2001: A Space Odyssey. I will have no debate there.
Can't believe that's your number one pick.
I mean, that's influential, but that's not what I thought.
Influential, but for number one pick, that's
yeah. Tyler's up next.
Listen, I love you, Seth. I'm gonna keep it real with you. That's a bad first pick.
So, you wouldn't say that like Interstellar.
It's influential, but there are more influential.
Let's just go with Star Wars.
No. It's a good one. Yeah. Wait, Tyler, what?
Star Wars.
That's what you're picking?
Yes.
Yeah, that would have been my second.
Damn big head.
What, were you gonna pick that or something?
Yeah. What do you mean? Was I gonna pick that or something? I thought it was a
Obviously.
lock that you were gonna take something else. I'm taking The Godfather. Influential. It is, but it's
George.
I feel like I know
constantly revolved around the best movie.
I cannot believe that the most influential film on the board is still on the board. We would not have the summer blockbuster without Jaws. We would not have merchandising without.
Oh, you were going to say Transformers. I don't know why. I don't know why.
That is a good pick, but I'd still pick 2001 over. Sorry.
I just respectfully think you're bugging. Just as respectfully as possible.
That's disrespectful. George, go
on. My second pick, and tell me maybe if I'm going for votes here.
I know what it is.
Don't do it.
The Oscars would not take this genre of film seriously if it wasn't for this movie. I'm taking The Dark Knight.
Really?
That
wasn't even on my. Do you know what? I kind of get where you're coming from.
The Dark Knight changed the landscape. They made people take superhero film seriously. It made the Oscars look at superhero film seriously. It may not be top five.
A quick note on that though is like, I feel like somehow the way we publish this draft should be like to tell people to watch it, because I feel like a lot of us are going to have ones where we kind of have to give like a sentence explainer of why it's so influential, where if you just see it on the graphic you may be like, why are they picking that? I don't know. That's just what I was thinking of. But anyways, go on.
So maybe instead of posting a graphic of just our picks, Cam makes that video he usually makes, and that's the only thing we post.
Okay,
good idea.
That's fine.
Cameron.
Next up, dude. Here's the problem. There are a lot more influential picks, like from way back in the day. Started this in cinema. All those movies are boring. Citizen Kane, boring. Fucking Modern Times. Say words.
Yeah, but you can't deny the influence.
Shut up. Iron Man. The first Iron Man ushers us into this Marvel Cinematic Universe. Has changed the scope. Has changed the scope of movies today. Iron Man.
Way as his second pick.
Our back-to-back picks are superhero movies. We're gonna get some pretentious people.
No,
damn right. Damn right.
MCU film is your second pick.
I think that's a good pick.
Really?
I think that's a good pick. I think that's a better pick.
No, it's on my list for sure.
George, don't you dare.
I think that's a better pick.
If that's not on your list, you're crazy.
If Iron Man doesn't work, we don't have the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We don't have the DC Extended Universe. Stop it.
Yeah. Piss off.
Good.
No, but bro, like in terms of influence, I don't think that matches 2001 in terms of influence on a genre. Like I don't see that. I
disagree.
Really?
Yeah. In the superhero genre for what it is today, yes.
Yeah.
Compared to like sci-fi today, yes.
All right, my pick. Let's go with the first Disney feature film, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Fuck you! I did not think anyone was gonna take that.
I didn't even have. That's a good pick. I didn't even
have. That's a good one. I didn't. That's not even on my radar.
I really didn't think anyone was gonna take that.
You wouldn't have Disney.
Did you have that?
Yeah,
that was gonna be my next pick.
I should have put that down. I didn't have that.
That's horse shit.
I don't particularly like this film. Neither does George. You cannot deny its influence. Wizard of Oz.
That's got to be picked. If that's
I don't particularly like the film. I don't like what went on behind the scenes, but you can't deny its influence in cinema.
I hate the film too, but it was on my list. So you're against it?
Oh yes. Sorry. Damn. Do you know what? Jaws was going to be my next pick. So that's quite annoying.
Jaws? You thought Jaws was gonna wait till the third round?
That's bold.
I would have picked it if George didn't.
You're out of your mind. Jaws should have been your first round.
Real people know 2001. Real people. Okay.
Real people. Okay. Ooh.
Down. I'm gonna go for. Again, it's not my favorite film, but I think influence. I think the Matrix is up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a good pick.
It is. And Bullet Time has been done like a million times. It's one of the like most influential like shots. In
Shots, yeah.
Or iconic, we'll say iconic.
This one might be an interesting pick, but George said The Dark Knight got the committee to finally take comic book movies serious. So finally giving a foreign film a Best Picture, Parasite.
That's a good one. Okay.
Because I feel like not only for the Oscars, but I feel like for like that's like the first like foreign film, like the layman, like the average person, like watched in troves.
Is that influential?
I agree.
I guess it is. Like,
no, I agree though. It's like, you know, this is gonna sound bad. It's one of my first like foreign films.
Same.
Is it impactful? Is it impactful? Or is it influential? If that makes sense. That might mean me looking too much into it. But
I don't know. Maybe, but it got me into foreign.
So I don't think that's had an influence on cinema.
I
definitely see where Tyler's coming from. Yeah, I get it.
But next up, you know, I think this is an influential movie. It's gotten. I think what George said is movie. The Dark Knight got like people to regard comic book movies as like more than just comic book movies. Okay. I think this movie started one of the biggest franchises ever, best franchises ever. And got people to look at fantasy movies more than anything. I'm going with The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay.
Not where I thought you were going with that.
Do you know what? I thought you were
going
going somewhere way
really?
up.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was implying.
Is George taking the one that he thought Cam was about to take?
Probably not, just because I don't think anyone's going to take that.
I think it's an honorable mention, yeah.
I might leave that for an honorable mention, or maybe just a late 5th round pick.
I don't even know what you guys were thinking. Maybe I'm crazy.
Okay. I don't know what I was thinking. I thought of like an MCU thing, but then Lord of the Rings took me off guard. I like it. That's fine.
I am I'm between two. They're both in the same genre, though. We would not have Halloween. We would not have Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah. We wouldn't have Scream without Psycho.
Yeah,
I thought
that was my next one
on the way back. I thought I could get that on the way back. Honestly,
that was my next one.
I wanted to take that. I figured everyone would have that on their list at least. My next pick. This is difficult. This is because I have one that I want to pick, but I think it might be a stupid pick. So I'm going to go with maybe a sleeper pick, a film that kind of showed the world that you could put these massive, grand scale action sequences on the big screen and make it work. And that is 1959's Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like that.
I think that's a sleeper pick.
I like that.
Dude,
they had like huge set design, like thousands of extras and stuff. Yeah,
and that's an exact reason why we can't just have a graphic for this episode because I feel like we need the video. Yeah,
I agree.
Fine, we'll have the video, and in the video, I'm gonna say, Modern Times might not get picked, and it's not getting picked here because fuck Modern Times. I don't care if it's influential. I don't care about Citizen Kane. They're not very good. Fine.
Number 4, Cam.
Number 4.
Seth picked 2001 as the first pick.
Man, I despise you. I hate you. Do you know what's funny? We agree so much.
We do, but we disagree
we're never in the
middle. I don't think this is going to get a lot of votes, but I think it's the best pure action movie ever. And I don't know. I'm not even going to explain it because I don't think it's going to get me votes, but I want it on here as Seven Samurai.
Wow, that's not what
I don't think that's going to have many arguments. I haven't seen it yet, but I think most people would.
God, you haven't seen it.
I don't disagree.
This draft is so funny for Cam because I feel like he's giving these monologues for like 60 seconds for his picks, and it's always nowhere near what I think.
Maybe I'm saying like wrong shit.
Cam, you're surprising me pleasantly. I like it.
That's just what I do, baby.
I'm not gonna lie. I like Cam's lineup right
now. My 4th pick now. This one's gonna disappoint Cam for me picking it, but if you look at like film history,
you already broke my heart.
There was a major turning point after this film came out where people really started to take films seriously in terms of what can be done and what can be put on the big screen. The longest and most expensive film at the time by a mile, Gone with the Wind, 1939.
Yeah, that's
so I was gonna have something.
Don't say it.
Something back then like this.
Okay,
but I don't think I've got.
After shitting on so many movies from back then.
I know. I think there are better movies from back then. That's what.
Seth.
Surely this one won't get a lot of disagrees. Like, My choice is going to be All Quiet on the Western Front. Obviously, the 1931, one of the first big anti-war films. That it has to be. Surely we all kind of get that one. Okay,
that's on my list.
Is it on your list? Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have picked it. I don't know if it's my top 5. But
in terms of anti-war films, that is one of the earliest big ones. It might have been the earliest big one. Anyway.
I agree.
All right, Seth, last pick.
Really hoping pick makes it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take The Exorcist. In terms of the horror genre, that's hugely influential. I'm gonna take The Exorcist.
So that wasn't. I before I took Psycho, I said I had 2 horror movies. That The Exorcist was not my second one that I was.
You really? You love The Exorcist, though. We spoke about how influential that was.
You might be surprised that I will when we get.
I might not be because I've got a few horrors on here that might be.
When we get to.
God, I don't know where to go with this last pick, but I'll say it's impactful for this reason. If it wasn't for this movie, there would be no end credit scenes in the MCU because this is what single-handedly influenced Kevin Feige. Is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He credits that movie as the reason that he puts post-credits. He decided to start doing post-credits for all his movies.
I didn't know that. That's a cool fact.
I like that pick.
I thought you were going to say an MCU film.
But I also think it's like it's not just for the post-credit scenes. Like I feel like Ferris Bueller's Day Off is still just like an influential movie in terms of cinema.
Teen. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I get that.
And I really don't know what I want for my last pick, honestly.
If you take my pick, I'll never talk to you again.
I really had no reason to believe Star Wars was going to be gone. So like my list.
Really?
I didn't.
Star. I mean,
I thought.
Star
Well, no,
Wars
I knew Seth wasn't going to take it, and I thought Tyler was going the Godfather.
That was my second.
Hand up, I maliciously
Tyler
picked it because of you. Hand up, I'll admit to it.
I believe that.
Only
I thought
because of
Tyler was.
I'll be
going
honest.
The Godfather.
Jaws and Star Wars were my top 2. I really thought Seth and Tyler would pick those back to back.
Jaws was truly my number 1, but
Yeah, that was my number 1.
Oh man, and I am gonna go with. Fuck, I don't know, man. I want to go with something like big, blockbuster wise, but I don't know if I have it. Screw it. I'm gonna go with Alien. I think that was fairly.
No, that was one of mine. I get that. It's fine.
Yeah, I was looking at a list, and if you Google sorry, we'll say this after. You go first, Tyler.
If you Google most influential.
George finished off.
Sorry, well, you picked Alien.
Yeah.
Alien.
Interesting. That's an interesting pick. Okay, so my last pick. Again, I'm a little surprised that this made it to a 25th pick. We wouldn't have films like Eternal Sunshine and La La Land and Lost in Translation and Her and When Harry Met Sally, Call Me by Your Name, Titanic, without Casablanca.
Man,
that was on my list.
That's a good one. That's a good one, and I should have. I should have thought of that.
That is the OG romance film.
That was on my list.
It kind of showed people that you can put a movie strictly about love and make it work.
Yeah, I get that.
I like that. I like that.
Was that your last pick?
That was my last pick.
What was the horror you were talking about then?
1922's Nosferatu.
Nosferatu, yeah, that was on
what movie did you think I was going with in the fantasy?
I have no idea.
I wonder if I thought the same as George.
I forgot what you were saying, what your build-up was.
Yeah,
do you remember what you said?
I said Lord of the Rings.
No.
I was just fantasy,
I was surprised when you said Seven Samurai after you said the greatest action film ever. I really thought you were going Die Hard for that one.
I thought you were going to say The Raid for that one. I don't know. I didn't see The Raid.
I haven't
seen it.
No.
That's like the best choreographed action film ever, but it's not really
I really want to know what you guys were thinking.
Well, I was thinking, do you remember the build-up you were saying? Because it was something like it was like the first of its kind. Like if it wasn't for this success, we wouldn't have had the same.
I was thinking
I was thinking X-Men 2000 because I was like, without that
would have been.
Okay.
I was waiting for someone to pick that.
That was on my list. That was on my list because I think a lot of people wrongly credit. Right, a lot of people wrongly credit Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie as like the reason we have modern comic movies, but it's X-Men 2000.
I think X-Men 2000.
You know what was on my list that I thought you would have gone for, or at least hope it's on yours? Evil Dead.
Oh, I didn't even have that.
Horror comedy, Evil Dead 2. That set off.
I didn't
George
even
Romero
have it on my list.
That's
Sam Raimi.
No, that's Sam Raimi.
Yeah. Sam Raimi.
Night of the Living Dead would have been a good pick too. I also had Metropolis. I think Metropolis would have been a better.
I haven't seen it.
That's like this list that I looked up. It's just IMDb's. It has 2001: A Space Odyssey at 49. It has Metropolis at 3. It's got like it's got like Star Wars at 80
You
or
could
something.
say,
so, or no, 62. So
you could say the original Blade Runner, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Apocalypse Now, Rear Window.
You could say any old big movie.
The Good, Bad, and the Ugly in terms of westerns, making westerns mainstream. That nearly went in mine, but yeah, there was loads of them to be fair. But yeah. Do you want to run through? Did anyone make a note or?
Oh, I did. Yeah, sorry. So the drafts are: Seth had 2001: A Space Odyssey, Wizard of Oz, The Matrix, All Quiet on the Western Front, and The Exorcist. Tyler had Star Wars, Snow White, Parasite, Gone with the Wind, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I had The Godfather, Iron Man, The Lord of the Rings, Seven Samurai, and Alien. And George had Jaws, The Dark Knight, Psycho, Ben-Hur, and Casablanca.
Cool.
So that's where we're at.
Just smells like a W coming to mind.
So vote on Twitter.
Are we doing Twitter or are we doing TikTok?
It's always Twitter. It's always Twitter.
No, I just meant, are we doing the video?
I'll post the video.
Yeah, I'm saying maybe we shouldn't do a graph.
I'll post the video to Twitter if I can.
Yeah.
So we'll do obviously go over to our Twitter to vote on it, stuff like that. We'll put the draft on there. But yeah, obviously this is the end of episode 9. We thank you all for listening as always. Please don't forget to obviously rate us on Spotify, give us a sub on YouTube, like the video, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all our socials. We've got all our individual letterboxes linked below and stuff like that if you're on YouTube. I think we've got the links on Spotify as well, Tyler, if they go below the thing. I think we have. Yeah, cool. As usual, as we said before, when we get to 5K, we are going to release some merch and we will have some news soon about a Patreon potentially as well. But yeah, thanks for all for listening. And we will speak to you next week.
See you, fellas.